We all dream of bountiful gardens overflowing with fresh produce. Imagine stepping outside your back door and harvesting a basket full of colorful vegetables and herbs. Now, imagine achieving this abundance even if your garden space is limited. The secret lies in a technique called supplemental planting, a clever way to maximize your garden's potential. Supplemental planting is like fitting puzzle pieces together in your garden. It's about recognizing empty spaces and filling them with plants that will thrive in the available sunlight and space. This technique not only increases your harvest, but also improves soil health by preventing erosion and adding valuable nutrients. Think of your garden as a constantly evolving canvas. As you harvest early crops, gaps appear, presenting opportunities for new growth. By carefully selecting fast-growing and companion plants, you can create a continuous cycle of planting and harvesting throughout the growing season. Get ready to be amazed by how much you can grow in even the smallest of gardens. Take a stroll through your garden with a keen eye. You might be surprised by how many hidden pockets of potential you can uncover. Look beyond the obvious empty patches where early crops have finished. Consider the spaces between sprawling tomato plants, the sunny edges of your herb garden, or even containers on your patio. Don't be afraid to experiment with vertical space as well. Vining crops like cucumbers and beans can climb trellises or fences, freeing up valuable ground space for other plants. Similarly, hanging baskets can transform unused vertical spaces into vibrant herb gardens. Remember, even a small patch of sunlight can be enough to nurture a variety of vegetables and herbs. With a bit of creativity and observation, you can unlock the hidden potential of your garden space. Let's explore some suitable candidates for these newfound pockets of growth. Fast-growing crops are the stars of supplemental planting. These speedy growers mature quickly, rewarding you with a harvest in weeks rather than months. This rapid growth cycle makes them perfect for slotting into gaps in your garden, ensuring that no space goes unused throughout the growing season. Radishes, with their peppery bite, are some of the fastest growing vegetables, maturing in as little as 3 weeks. Imagine scattering a handful of radish seeds amongst your slower growing crops. By the time your main crops need the space, the radishes will be ready for harvest, leaving behind enriched soil. Lettuce is another champion of speed and versatility. Its shallow roots make it ideal for intercropping, fitting snugly between larger plants. Picture a vibrant mix of green and red lettuce varieties, adding splashes of color and freshness to your garden. And let's not forget bush beans, which mature quickly and provide a vertical element to your garden. Their nitrogen-fixing properties also benefit neighboring plants. While maximizing space is a key benefit of supplemental planting, it's also an opportunity to improve your soil health. Just like us, plants need a balanced diet of nutrients to thrive. Enter soil-improving plants, the unsung heroes of the garden. Buckwheat, a fast-growing annual, is a favorite among experienced gardeners. Its deep roots penetrate compacted soil, improving drainage and aeration. As buckwheat grows, it pulls nutrients from deep within the soil, making them available to shallower-rooted plants. When it's time to plant your main crops, simply cut the buckwheat and leave it on the surface as a nutrient-rich mulch. Clover is another superstar when it comes to soil improvement. This nitrogen-fixing powerhouse converts atmospheric nitrogen into a form readily usable by plants. Imagine planting clover as a living mulch between rows of vegetables. Not only will it suppress weeds and prevent erosion, but it will also naturally fertilize your soil, reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers. Dynamic duos companion planting for a thriving garden. Companion planting is like creating a neighborhood watch for your garden. By strategically pairing plants with complementary characteristics, you can deter pests, attract beneficial insects, and even improve the flavor of your crops. One classic example is the dynamic duo of basil and tomatoes. Planted side by side, basil acts as a natural pest repellent for tomatoes, deterring whiteflies, aphids, and tomato hornworms. In return, tomatoes provide shade for the basil, helping it thrive in the heat of summer. Another beneficial partnership is that of nasturtiums and squash. The vibrant, edible flowers of nasturtiums act as a trap crop for squash bugs, drawing them away from your precious squash plants. The nasturtiums also attract beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings, which feast on aphids and other garden pests. A bountiful blend, mixing and matching for maximum yield. The beauty of supplemental planting lies in its versatility. Don't be afraid to experiment with different combinations of fast-growing, soil-improving and companion plants to discover what works best in your garden. Imagine a vibrant tapestry of lettuce, radishes and carrots growing in harmony. The lettuce and radishes, with their shallow roots, will benefit from the loose soil created by the carrots' deeper roots. Meanwhile, the carrots will appreciate the shade provided by their leafy companions during the hottest months. In another corner of your garden, you might have a thriving community of tomatoes, basil and bush beans. The beans, with their nitrogen-fixing abilities, will nourish the soil for the benefit of all three plants. The basil will deter pests from the tomatoes, while the tomatoes will provide some much-needed shade for the basil. Timing is everything. Succession planting for a continuous harvest. To truly maximize your garden's potential, embrace the concept of succession planting. This technique involves sowing a new crop of fast-growing vegetables every few weeks to ensure a continuous harvest throughout the growing season. Think of it like a well-choreographed dance. As one crop finishes, another is ready to take its place. For example, you could sow a row of radishes every 2 weeks. By the time you've harvested the first row, the second row will be ready to pick, and the third row will be well on its way. This technique works particularly well with leafy greens like lettuce, spinach and arugula. You can also use it for root crops like carrots and beets, ensuring a steady supply of fresh vegetables for your table. Sharing the bounty companion planting for pest control. Remember the neighborhood watch we talked about earlier? Companion planting plays a crucial role in keeping your garden healthy and pest-free. By attracting beneficial insects and deterring unwanted visitors, you can create a balanced ecosystem that minimizes the need for pesticides. Planting marigolds alongside your vegetables is a time-tested method for deterring nematodes and other soil-dwelling pests. Their vibrant blooms also attract pollinators, ensuring that your crops are well fertilized. Similarly, planting herbs like dill, fennel and cilantro attracts ladybugs, lacewings and other beneficial insects that prey on aphids, spider mites and caterpillars. These tiny guardians will patrol your garden, keeping pest populations in check naturally. Reaping the rewards, the joys of supplemental planting. As you've discovered, supplemental planting is more than just a space-saving technique. It's a holistic approach to gardening that benefits both your garden and the environment. By embracing the principles of companion planting, soil improvement and succession planting, you can create a thriving ecosystem that produces an abundance of fresh, flavorful produce. Imagine stepping into your garden and harvesting a colorful basket full of vegetables, herbs and edible flowers. The satisfaction of growing your own food, the joy of witnessing nature's bounty, and the knowledge that you're nurturing a healthy, sustainable garden. These are the true rewards of supplemental planting. So what are you waiting for? Grab your gardening gloves, grab your seeds, and start maximizing your garden's potential today.